welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be reading another scary story for you guys. So last video I found a series of videotapes in my basement, and this is going to be part 2 of that story. So if you haven't seen that yet, I'll link it in the description so you can go watch that one. So here is, I found a series of videotapes in my basement, part 2. Shh, do you hear that? My attention was brought toward the basement door for a moment. I stood in silence, closing my eyes to listen as closely as I could for the noise I heard. Joe wasn't as patient as I was. Imagine that. Hear what? I didn't hear anything. Almost on cue, the noise appeared again. The sound of something dragging. Joe's eyes became as wide as his mouth, and he began to back away from the basement door in fear. What was that? He cried. I placed my index finger over my lips and proceeded to tell him to be quiet. I saw Joe gulp his fear down his throat, but for some strange reason, my fear was overshadowed by my willingness to get to the bottom of what was going on. Against my better judgment and Joe's wishes, I opened the door to the basement. What are you doing? Let's get out of here! His pleas fell on deaf ears. Look, if you want to leave, fine, but I'm going down there to see what that noise was. It was probably nothing. Nothing? Jesus Christ, we just watched a video of what looked like young me and some creature in our basement. And then we hear a noise coming from the basement and you want to tell me it's nothing? I just wanted him to calm down. Truth be told, I wanted him to leave so I could be alone and not have to listen to his constant whining. Leave if you want, I'm going down there. Joe shook his head in disbelief. You're crazy. I'm out of here. And that was it. I watched as Joe grabbed his coat and some belongings before he left the house. Perhaps I should have done the same, but my curiosity got the better of me. What's that saying about curiosity and the cat? Doesn't bode well for me, does it? I looked down the bottom of the stairs leading to the basement and nothing seemed out of place. Slowly, I walked down the stairs, making sure to grab the railing with each step. Once I made it to the bottom, I flipped on the light at the end of the stairwell. I looked around for a moment until I saw the familiar picture that once hung below the window, which was now laying on the ground. With a sigh of relief, I walked toward the photo and hung it back up. While doing that, however, the dragging noise appeared again. I quickly jumped and turned to look behind me, but there was nothing. I looked at the empty black abyss that was the space under the stairs as I slowly walked towards it. It appeared to be a black hole, and the curiosity was its gravitational pull sucking me in. I grabbed my phone to turn on the flashlight again, but just as before, there was nothing under the stairs but a dust and dead bugs. Another sigh of relief. For that moment. I tucked my phone back in my pocket and went to head back upstairs. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw something move. It moved incredibly fast. As I turned my head, my eyes became wide in fear. I was staring at the familiar sight, the sight of the creature in the video. It was taller than I imagined, skinny, lanky, with arms that dragged across the cement. Its neck was long and skinny, but its head was small. Its face had a pair of 2 dark eyes, practically black. No nose, but a smile, which was crooked to the left-hand side of its face. It stood there staring at me as if I was its prey. The creature was letting off a hideous odor that smelled like a mixture of rotten eggs and what I could only describe as roadkill. The creature bent down. I watched its knees went above its shoulders in a crouched position, which seemed physically impossible. Then again, everything about this seemed impossible. The creature began to sniff around before crawling toward me slowly. Its eyes maintained focus on me while it slowly crawled toward my stoic body. Its head was shaking back and forth uncontrollably as it crawled towards me. I had to make a move. I needed to make a move. Without hesitation, I bolted back up the stairs and slammed the door behind me. I grabbed the box of videotapes, the VCR, and left home, not looking back. I threw the box of tapes in the back of my Ford Focus and left the driveway as fast as I could. I must have hit every red light in the way out of town. I refused to look back, fearing I'd see the creature. In a panic, I grabbed my phone and dialed Joe to talk to him, but the phone kept ringing. You've reached Joe. Leave a message. God damn it, Joe! I hung up the phone and tossed it to the side as I thought about what to do next. With nearly 400 miles to my home back on campus, I had no other option but to rent a hotel for the night. Pulling up to a Motel 8, I booked a room for the night and thought everything in my head. Did I see what I thought I saw? Or was my mind playing tricks? How did a creature of that size remain hidden while I was down there? I sat on the edge of the hotel bed, sat still in disbelief. I looked over at the box of videotapes and the VCR I was able to get in a hurry. Looking back, wasting time to get that VCR was stupid. But there had to be more to the story. I was able to plug the VCR into the hotel television and went over everything in my head again. Should I watch the next tape? Should I go directly to the authorities? With a deep breath, I inserted the next tape and waited to see what was next. The video started out like the last one, only this time there wasn't a boy strapped down into a bed. Instead, the two white-dressed individuals stood off the side, with a pad and a pen, jotting down something that I couldn't read. There was a jump cut and my stomach began to turn. The camera was fixated on the creature, which was standing still against the cold cement wall of what looked like my basement. The creature's eyes were closed and its mouth seemed to have disappeared, its face completely blank. Suddenly, the dark eyes opened and a crooked smile appeared on the creature. It didn't move, but it seemed to be awake. The two white-dressed individuals approached the creature and inserted a syringe into its elongated neck before the video cut. After another jump cut, the camera was pointed up the stairs. My God. My dog just moved and just scared me. The creature was eating. What it was eating, I'm not entirely sure. It was slumped against the wall, picking up pieces of food with its long fingers and forcing it into my mouth. The creature turned its head 180 degrees like an owl and was looking directly at the camera. Static. I couldn't contain myself anymore. I got to my feet and headed to the bathroom, vomiting from what I just saw. The creature made me physically ill, just by the way it looked at me and how abnormal it was. Leaning over the toilet, thoughts rushed into my head. Was this the creature? Are there more like it? Flush. I flushed my vomit down the toilet and went to get some rest. Everything from that night wore me out, and I could decipher more of the videos tomorrow after a decent night's sleep. I woke the next morning to the sound of someone knocking on my door in the hotel room. In a groggy daze, I opened the door to see nobody there. When I looked down, I nearly jumped backwards. Sitting on the ground was a single videotape. I gulped my fear down my throat, shaking from head to toe. I picked up the tape, looked around the hall of my floor, but saw no one. I closed my door, locked it, and sat on the edge of my bed. What was this tape? What was it? I was too afraid to even find out. I had to talk myself into it, but I wish I didn't. I put the tape on my VCR and braced myself for the worst. What I saw sent chills down my spine. It was Joe, not as a child but as an adult, wearing the same clothes he was wearing last night. Behind him, the creature, resting both hands on his shoulders, standing tall with his head out of view of the camera. Joe's head was lowered, looking down at the ground below his feet. He seemed to be asleep or unaware of what was going on, but he was breathing. Both Joe and the creature stood completely still for what seemed like hours, with the creature's hands placed firmly on his shoulders, tightening the grip with every passing moment. I watched in horror as the creature then dragged its tongue across the cheek of Joe before the video cut to static. The creature had Joe. The creature was still in that house. But that begs the question, who was filming it? I actually really like this story. I don't know why. I like it. I think it's kind of interesting to read. And I hope you guys liked it as well. So if you did, I'll put the link in the description and also the link to my first videos in the description as well if you want to listen to that one first. And I'll see you next time. Bye!